In this episode, we talk about a Dolly Parton rock album. Yes! Including Kid Rock. Huh? George Santos is the gift that keeps on giving. Janelle Monae is giving everything. Church bells, train whistles, and bird riots. Oh my! Welcome to Full Circle, the podcast.
Coming to you from the dining room table at East Barbary Lane, welcome to a new episode of Full Circle, the podcast. A weekly visit to our home where we squeeze a few headlines through our decidedly queer lens and see what happens. This episode is brought to you by Decanted Jug Wine and all the folks who wished me a happy Mother's Day. Unironically.
I am your host, Charles Tyson Jr.
And I'm your host, Martha Madrigal. Welcome to the Full Circle table.
Hi, baby.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine. You had to drag me into the house.
I know I did.
It is Mother's Day, May 14th.
Yes.
And we were on the porch because it's perfect outside.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, and the rhododendrons are blooming. And all of the irises are blooming. And I swear we have dozens more irises this year than we've had. Or am I just forgetting?
No, you might be right. It does feel like it's a lot.
There's a ton of them, and they're gorgeous, and they're purple, and they're, fabulous.
I like it.
And so is the Decanted Jug Wine. So everything was in purple today.
Yeah.
And, we stayed out on the porch for a long time. It's pretty here.
It is pretty here. I like it.
Yeah, it helps. It helps. I got Mother's Day wishes.
Well, of course you did.
From some of my children.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Your many children.
My many children. Yeah, so it's a Hallmark holiday.
Right, yeah.
Even if you did push a human through your vagina, it's still a Hallmark holiday.
Right.
And I congratulate you, but I'm just saying, whatever. Whatever. Toots did it 3 times.
You make it sound like, so how special could it be?
No, well, I mean, certain cultures, they squat at work and keep it pushing. Other cultures,
that's also true.
Right. We used to do like 2 weeks in the hospital here. We don't anymore, but.
Right. Well, yeah, because,
My mother was born in 1930, and they used to keep, my grandmother was in the hospital for like 2 weeks. Or damn near 2 weeks.
Right. Now it's like they rotate you out because they need the beds.
It's usually like 2 days, yeah. Get in, get out.
Yep.
Yeah, but, Anyway. Celebrating all the versions and variants of motherhood and, all the TERFs losing their mind today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's so weird still to me to see feminists reducing themselves to biology.
Sure.
Like, I don't get it.
Me either.
It's like, where,
Yeah, I don't get it.
Okay.
If you must, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought the point was, you were all so much more than that, but okay. So it's Mother's Day.
It is.
And who did you talk to?
Bijan Aga, who is
Thank you, because
I
would have said it wrong.
She is a trans Muslim American comic creator.
I love that.
Yeah. And the company the production studio that the comic is coming through is from Uruguay. It's like a whole thing.
Okay.
But yeah, that episode just went out. The comic is called The Adventures of Cobra Olympus. And it's very cool, and I'm looking forward to reading it and we got to nerd out about comics. It was fun.
Did you have fun?
I did.
Cool.
I did. It was fun.
Cool. And yeah, it was so weird because I did the Susan Stryker interview by myself because you were at work and I was at work when you talked to Bijan.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we're just doing that thing. Yeah. It is I have been at my job for 2 months, 2 full months. It's week 9. Yeah. I'm counting the weeks.
Yep.
I'm entering week 9 tomorrow.
Oh my.
Yeah, I'm still there.
Right.
For now.
Right.
For now. I haven't gotten myself fired yet. I clock in every day at 5 of.
That's right.
I am on time. I'm on time and at my desk with a smile because I'm surly.
Right.
Not intentionally, but, you know, when you hire me to do this shit, expect me to do this shit, you know?
Right. And everything that comes with it. Sorry about it.
They maybe weren't ready. They're getting ready, so. Or they're getting ready to fire me. I'm not sure which, but, you know.
I doubt that part.
I just ordered clothes off Facebook, so what do I know about anything?
Oh, stop.
I'm so, well, you know. I did it before and it worked out. My bathing suits literally came from Facebook.
Right.
Yeah.
And it worked out. It was priority.
It worked out. They're cute. They were inexpensive. So, yeah. And I saw some cute shit and I was like, oh, all right, I'll give it a shot.
Right.
So, like, I think I spent $42. So either I have 6 new outfits or I'm going to be, like, on the phone arguing with the bank.
Right.
But I'm like, well, but it's $42. So we'll see.
Right.
We'll see. It's kind of Goodwill pricing. And that's what I was like, I got to try this because there was that one outfit that I showed you that has the really long top.
Right.
With the matching pants. And it's fabulous.
I want it to be.
And I have the jewelry to like pull that shit together.
Right. I want it to be real because
that
stuff is cute.
I know. I got black and I got royal blue in that outfit.
Power outfits.
I'm serious. It was beautiful. But, you know, if it's not real, it's not real. Oh, so you did this whole thing on yesterday that brought you life.
Yeah, I was working what I thought it was on the calendar as a film shoot.
Right.
But it ended up being, I mean, they might have been filming it, but it was a performance / showcase / Mother's Day celebration. And it was like Chinese, a bunch of lovely Chinese folks. And it was like yoga performance with these lovely like projected backdrops. And it was beautiful.
You said that.
Yeah. Like the yoga demonstrations were great. And then there were these like older ladies doing these like demonstrations of like martial art dance type things. Like first they did it with fans and then they did it with swords. And like the one that was leading it was 87 years old.
Oh, wow.
It was fierce.
I love Chinese dance troops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so cool. And the lovely people, they greeted me with a lucky orange and a bottle of water. I was like, okay, aww, I see where this is going.
How sweet.
It was a lovely day.
I'm glad. And Friday night we saw In the Heights.
We did. You finally got to see it in its stage play incarnation.
Yeah, it's better.
It's different. I do like it better, but I think it's different. I liked the movie. You did not.
I didn't not like the movie. But I didn't like the movie.
Right, exactly.
But I did not like the movie.
Uh-huh.
I, again, I feel that things are written to be delivered in a certain way.
Okay.
And when things are written for the stage, you know, the story is told by the actors.
Right.
Not the background, not the location, not the sounds behind them, but the actors themselves. It's a different craft than the way that stories are told in film.
No, you're right.
And when you try to take all of that dialogue and all of that storytelling, and then you try to use the genre of film, and you start telling the story with the background as well, to me, it is cacophonous. It is too much It's that everything everywhere all at once thing that,
Right.
I'm not even talking about the movie, but, where it's just too much because you're sort of cross-telling a story to me.
Right.
And I felt that way. The first time I ever noticed that was Jeffrey, the movie, because I did the play.
Right.
I played Sterling when I was 30 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I loved it and I loved the play, but it's a very minimal play, really told through the actors and,
right.
and not through the background.
Right.
And so with all of that, as much as they add, I feel like you lose something.
No, I agree. And like they changed the approach to certain key story moments in the movie.
Yeah, they did.
For dramatic effect.
Or to lighten it. I'm not sure.
Well, yeah. And
mm-hmm.
if you've never seen the play, then it doesn't bother you in the movie.
Right. Once again, at our little Broadway theater in Pittman, New Jersey, our little tiny local theater, and they really did a great job.
They did.
I broke a tooth on popcorn. I got to get that fixed Monday. But besides for breaking the tooth, I loved it.
The performances given were fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
The direction was really good. The set design was awesome. Like I said, the set design for this production was better than it was at the Walnut Street Theater when I originally saw it.
Oh, that's right. And you saw it, 10 years ago.
Right. It was done less. It was
8
done
years ago, something like that.
More minimally for the Walnut Street than it was for this production.
Okay.
And it was effective then.
Right.
But if you're doing an apples to apples, this one was better. Like, for instance, you could look inside the bodega. You could look mm-hmm, inside mm-hmm. the salon, which you couldn't necessarily do in the original.
You had a feel of Washington Heights.
You did.
You had a feel. Yeah.
I wanted to find the sound person and the lighting designer and punch them in the throat.
We were day drinking. I'm just going to point that out before we got there. So I was pleased with everything. I was just happy. Yeah, until my tooth broke.
Right.
But I was just, that freaked me out a little bit because it's kind of a front tooth. Yeah, but we were day drinking. I mean, that's a fact.
Well, no.
We went out for lunch.
We did.
Then a friend met us for late lunch.
Right.
Yeah, and we barely made it to the theater on time. We weren't on time. We were late.
No, we missed the beginning of the opening number of In the Heights.
We did.
For In the Heights.
We did. Yeah. Because, So, but it was an entirely pleasant day.
It was. Now,
till the tooth.
Having said that,
mm-hmm.
You know that there's a lot of singing in this. So maybe it would be a good idea if everybody's mic worked or if everybody's mic was on the same level. That would have been great. Like
that would have helped.
It was to the point where I was like, I couldn't tell who was singing because the voice sounded like it was coming from outside.
I think we pay $25 a year for our season ticket.
Not an
seats.
Excuse.
No, but I'm like, seriously, it's like, it's, I'm just saying it is. They don't pretend to be Broadway or the Walnut Street for that matter. And I remain impressed with their production quality.
I usually am too.
Okay.
But
given that this is local theater, you're just bitter because they didn't hire you. I think you applied once, didn't you?
I did, but no,
and
that
you
has nothing to do with it.
Well, and you would have got that right.
Exactly.
Because you do get that right.
It's like, this is the most brown people that have ever been in that theater at the same time.
That is probably true. And it's been around for like 125 years.
Right. So you couldn't turn on some goddamn front light? That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
That's
fair.
all.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's
fair. I got nothing. I have no notes.
Why are they in the dark? That's all.
I have no notes because I was just kind of buzzing along.
Yes,
until I broke my tooth. Then I was not happy and we left. But we left at the end. But still, right. I was like, get me home. Just get me home. Freaked me out.
A little bit.
Called my dentist.
Yes.
I will see her Monday morning.
Yes.
Yeah. I got a date with her tomorrow to fix this nonsense. But other than that, it was fun. I had fun.
It was.
And you wound up with a ride to work, so bonus for me.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's there is good news this week.
There is, amazingly enough.
This was actually fun. In Missouri, I believe it one day after the state lawmakers voted to ban gender affirming care.
Yep.
For minors and restrict it for some adults, Kansas City, which is Missouri's largest city, voted themselves a sanctuary city.
Yes.
Yeah, 12-1 vote. Mayor Quinton Lucas praised the vote, saying the city is committed to being a welcoming, inclusive, and safe place for everyone, including our transgender and LGBTQ plus community.
Yeah.
The sanctuary status sets it apart as a Democratic-leaning city in a state with a Republican governor and GOP-controlled legislature. Similar actions have been taken in cities that oppose state actions to restrict rights for transgender people, as in Austin, Texas.
It's very cool.
Yeah. It is cool because they're expected, the governor, Mike Parson, is expected to sign into law the ban on gender affirming care, which then goes to goes to court because it's completely unconstitutional and we have to keep doing this. And in the meantime, our people are plotting and freaking out because they're being messed with in ridiculous, awful ways by the GOP.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's what they do. Mm-hmm.
And now we got birds fighting outside and church bells going on. Jesus
There
Christ.
are church bells. Right. We have church bells. So it's around 6 o'clock. Yep. It is 6 o'clock because we have church bells every day at 6 o'clock, which I love.
And there's a bird riot going on.
And the birds are talking outside. I love that though. There are worse sounds.
I suppose.
I mean, we live with worse sounds.
Fair.
In the background. Yeah, so I will take birds and church bells. Why not? I don't have to sit in the church to hear their bells. What up with West Virginia?
So, West Virginia University's head men's basketball coach, Bob Huggins, was on some radio show and he basically said some ridiculous shit that doesn't make any sense. Something about sex toys, and he said Catholic faggots doing what they do. Something.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it was a whole thing. I read what he said. It didn't actually make sense.
He was suspended for 3 games. He has had his salary reduced by $1 million a year.
That part.
And given a 3-game suspension and will be required to participate in sensitivity training following his abhorrent comments made while appearing on a Cincinnati radio show on Monday. So this was swift.
Yeah.
Within a week,
Yep.
These consequences happened.
And the reason why I put this in good news was because, you know what? Repercussions. And getting docked $1 million, I don't care how much you actually have, you feel that.
Yeah, I mean, the president of West Virginia University, E. Gordon Gee, G-E-E, described the longtime Mountaineers coach's language as inexcusable and offensive. What did he say? Did we get to what he said? I deeply regret my actions. Jesus, what did he say? I regret the embarrassment and disappointment it has caused our athletic family members of our campus community and the state of West Virginia. What the fuck did he say?
Huggins was a guest on the Bill Cunningham show on Cincinnati radio station WLW.
Oh, this already sounds all right-wingy.
Right.
Go ahead.
He discussed his rivalry with Xavier during his time as Cincinnati's coach from 1989 to 2005.
Okay. Xavier or Xavier University?
Xavier. Okay, sure.
Or Xavier. I think they say it Xavier, but
Oh, okay.
I think either. Is
Apparently the crosstown shootout is some sports thing. I thought it was like a gun violence thing, but apparently it's like, shooting baskets and
okay, that sounds fun.
So in the article that I'm getting this from,
I want to know what he said.
it just says, they were talking about the rubber sex toys incident in the crosstown shootout. So, but what he said was, Catholics don't do that. I'll tell you what, any school that can throw rubber penises on the floor and then say they didn't do it, by God, they can get away with anything. It was the crosstown shootout. What it was all those faggots, those Catholic faggots, I think. They were envious they didn't have one.
Have one what? Obviously they had many because they threw them on the floor.
Exactly.
They didn't have one what, honey?
So that's what he said.
Wow. I used a completely insensitive and abhorrent phrase that there is simply no excuse for. Yes, you did. I won't try to make one here. Good. I deeply apologize to the individuals I have offended. Well, that would be many. As well as to the Xavier University community, the University of Cincinnati, and West Virginia University.
I'm really very sorry that you took some of my money away, and I am saying this, you don't take any more, because I forget how sensitive you faggots can be. That's basically what he said.
Kind of. Yeah, but $1 million a year.
Yeah.
Good.
I don't care. Like I said,
good.
I don't
That
care.
makes it good news. Good.
I don't care how much you have.
Remember the dude?
You missed that.
Right. Remember the dude? So probably 10, 15 years older than me. And we had 2 words you weren't allowed to say in our bar.
Right.
One started with an N.
Yep.
And the other one started with an F.
Uh-huh.
And he said, but I grew up saying that word and I don't mean it that way. Why can't I say that? And I said, sweetie, because it's usually the last word my people hear when your people put our teeth to the curb.
Exactly.
Is that a good enough reason for you?
Like, there's no way to say it that I'm not going to...
Stop saying it or get the fuck out of my bar. Like, do one or the other.
Right.
Because both are not going to happen. Like, get it or don't.
Right.
But, yeah.
You know I don't mean it that way. I don't give a fuck.
I mean, yeah, well...
I believe it was my response. I don't give a fuck.
Right. The reason I have porcelain teeth. Anyway, yeah, I'll say it all I want because it's been thrown at me my whole life. You, sir, are going to spend $1 million a year for the privilege.
Yep.
Good.
That's all.
Yeah, I love that. In good news, because there were ramifications.
Exactly.
Because there were actual ramifications, and there should be.
Exactly.
It's not okay. And we need to beat this shit back under the rock where it belongs. And, it's become way too mainstream and way too okay to marginalize way too many people.
Yep.
So, yeah, good. What's next?
So, file this under... I hate that it has to happen, but I love that it's happening.
Okay.
So trans teens in Montana are suing for access to gender-affirming care.
As they sadly need to do, but should.
Exactly. But I love the fact that they're not taking this shit lying down.
We can't.
Exactly.
It's literally life and death for us. And that's what's so sad about all of this. This is literally life and death for us.
Yep.
It's medical care we need to stay alive,
right,
and hopefully be healthy. And it's being treated as if we are a joke, and it's getting old.
Yep. Along with their parents and 2 healthcare providers, 2 trans teens are suing the state of Montana for its recent ban on gender-affirming care for trans youth. The plaintiffs argue that the law, SB 99, violates the state constitution.
It does.
Which guarantees the right to equal protection, the right of parents to direct the upbringing of their children, the right to dignity, and the right to seek health care.
Thank you. Yes, that's all true.
The lawsuit was filed on behalf of the plaintiffs by the ACLU of Montana and Lambda Legal.
Of course.
And it argues the unjust nature of the law because it bans gender-affirming care for trans youth, but allows cisgender youth access to the same medical care for other reasons.
Right.
The lawsuit states, the act is so damaging to the health and well-being of transgender adolescents that some of these adolescents' families with the resources to do so have taken steps to uproot their entire lives to move out of Montana in light of the act. For many more, however, that devastating option is not available, so these families and youth will have no choice but to remain and endure the harms that the act inflicts.
We got a trans girl, 16-year-old trans girl, 15-year-old trans boy, and a doctor.
Yep.
Good. And, ultimately, this bullshit will not stand. Right. Ultimately, we will return to sanity. I have to believe that. I have to.
Right.
And, in the meantime, this is really ugly, scary, horrible shit for folks.
Yeah.
In these states. And they're hoarding medicine, and we've got an underground railroad going right now.
Basically.
Because we have to.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I want to believe when we get beyond this shameful, shameful period in our history, we're going to be able to have even better projections than we have today. I have to believe that.
Yeah.
I have to.
I agree.
So, good on them. The children will lead. BC Supreme Court orders an end to anti-LGBTQ demonstrations on the North Vancouver overpass.
Yeah, this is from British Columbia, where we also have listeners.
We do. Hey, British Columbia.
So the Supreme Court of British Columbia has granted the provincial government an injunction to stop persistent demonstrators' months-long display of hateful anti-trans and COVID-19 denial signs on a North Vancouver highway overpass.
These people have nothing better to do.
Right. So basically for like weeks upon weeks, these people have been going to the overpass and writing their hateful nonsense on banners and hanging the banners over the overpass.
Don't they have jobs?
Right.
Sorry. Oh my. Yeah, the signs compromise the safety of passing drivers, demonstrators themselves, standing on the overpass, not allowed onto the transportation. I'm all good. There's an injunction now that prohibits anyone from gathering hanging signage or otherwise impeding vehicle and pedestrian traffic on the overpass and within 250 meters of it. I'm just reminded of the people that are like throwing like bricks and things from overpasses.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want anybody on an overpass. Like,
right.
In this era of mass shootings, etc., I don't want to see humans on an overpass.
Right.
Just cars. Just cars, because I don't trust humans.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The mayor of the city of North Vancouver, Mayor Lisa Buchanan, made a statement on Twitter. It says, "Everyone has a right to safety, freedom, and love. If you have taken Highway 1 recently near the Mountain Highway overpass, you may have seen some incredibly hateful, derogatory, and false messages about the LGBTQ2SAI+ community." Thank you for saying all of it. "My office has reached out to the Ministry of Transportation for support as this group is gathered on Government of British Columbia infrastructure. Thank you to everyone who contacted me and made the city aware of the situation. These messages go against who we are as a community. Hate speech has no place in the city. I stand in solidarity with LGBTQ2SAI+ people on the North Shore and beyond."
Good.
Yep. She goes on to say, "Allies everywhere must use their voice to push back on hate. There are those who want the human rights of the LGBTQ2SAI+ community debated and clawed back. We cannot pretend like this is not happening here in our community and our country. We all have a role to play in creating a more welcoming and inclusive city for all." Ain't nothing else to say.
Yeah, it's good. May they stand by it.
Yep.
I'm just making note of the fact, because I often comment that they're talking a lot about us without us.
Yeah.
But Laverne Cox was on MSNBC talking about the wave of anti-trans bills in state legislatures.
Yep.
She went on MSNBC to talk about her long history of advocacy, how trans rights and reproductive rights are connected, and they certainly are. It's all about bodily autonomy.
Yep.
Which is the conversation Susan Stryker and I had.
Yep.
And why censorship can't stop kids from being trans.
Nope.
Never has, never will. She was actually on
Not even how it works.
She was on Morning Joe.
Yeah.
How about that? She mentioned that the first protest she had ever been to was in 2001 when Amanda Milan was killed in front of a New York bus terminal by two men.
Yeah.
And she has been an advocate. She absolutely has been. But this is, I've not seen her invited to speak enough.
Right.
With all of this going on, or any of us for that matter. Like, we should all be, anytime they want to say the word trans, one of us should be there.
Right.
Otherwise, no, I'm sorry, it's not fair and balanced. When you get these people who love to talk about us,
Yep,
without us,
yep,
and you act like you're doing something fair and balanced, fuck you.
kind of.
Yeah. So I just put it there because it was cool to note that she was a guest on Morning Joe. Good long talk. Good stuff.
Yeah.
She did draw a connection between the right-wing war on abortion and the war on transition-related health care. I know my history, that trans people at various ages have gotten access to gender-affirming health care, but they've gotten it on the street. They haven't gone to a doctor to get blood work. Just like with abortion, people will always undergo criminalized procedures. They just won't be able to do it in a healthy way.
Right.
It's the same stuff we do know about abortion. Yet they're going to get it. You know what I mean? A woman determined not to have a pregnancy will not have that pregnancy.
Word.
In the same way, and God knows we know plenty of trans women who have had to do this through the years, they will do whatever it takes. Right. They will do whatever it takes. Because this is life or death. This is life or death. Just being able to be who we are, just being able to have authenticity, especially when we don't have access to healthcare or money. Yeah. We'll do it anyway. And she's right. And she spoke it. And good.
Right. Because just because you don't like something or don't agree with something
or
even make something illegal does not make that thing go away or make it less real or make it not real. I don't care how much feelings you have about the thing. It changes actually nothing.
Right. And she made the connections that do need to be made in the minds of people, including the connection between anti-Semitism and anti-trans sentiments.
Yeah.
And of course she brought up the Institute for Sexual Research, which we talked about, last week?
Yeah.
Headed by Magnus Hirschfeld. And she said, as we fight anti-Semitism, as we fight for reproductive rights, we have to fight for trans rights as well. I know trans people are a small part of the population, but it is not unrelated to everything else that is happening. This is about justice and bodily autonomy for everybody. It's about freedom.
All of us or none of us.
Yeah, it is. And you keep nodding your head and not saying shit, and you will be the one who is left. And when they come for you, ain't none of us going to be there.
I know that's right. Because they already been through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but let's keep looking at fascism and saying, it's just another opinion.
Right.
So what up with Cuba?
So this is cool thing. So Cuba's LGBTQ community celebrated same-sex marriage with a pride conga, which that image just made me smile.
Okay.
Around 200 Cubans marched in Havana on Saturday to the rhythm of conga, a popular dance, protesting against homophobia and transphobia and celebrating the legalization of same-sex marriage.
Nice.
Chanting socialism yes, homophobia no, demonstrators swayed their hips and beat rhythmically on drums as they cheered the family code passed last September. The code permits surrogate pregnancies as long as no money changes hands.
Okay.
And legally recognizes same-sex adoptions as well as several fathers or mothers in addition to the biological parents.
Okay.
It also defines marriage as the union between two people rather than that of a man and a woman, while boosting the rights of children, the elderly, and the disabled.
Right.
It was a debt the revolutionary process owed to Cuba's LGBTQ community, said Ana Clara Leon, a student parading with the rainbow flag tied around her waist. A coordinator for the Trans Cuba Network promoting trans rights said, It was something that all gay people were waiting for who wanted to consummate their couple relationship.
Okay.
It is the conga of pride. We Cubans are very much about partying, true conga and fun, and this way we can express our diversity.
All right.
I just thought that was a cool thing.
The march was led by Mariela Castro, daughter of one of Cuba's revolutionary leaders, Raul Castro,
Yep.
and a supporter of the family code, alongside Liz Cuesta, wife of President Miguel Diaz-Canel. Cuba's machismo culture was exacerbated in the 1960s and 70s when the government ostracized the LGBTQ community, sending many to militarized agricultural labor camps.
Yep.
So it's a new day in Cuba.
Yeah.
As well.
You know?
Gotta love that.
Yeah.
Gotta love that. That is good news. That is good news. I mean, we're not going anywhere.
Exactly.
We're not going anywhere.
And I believe this is the literal definition of you can't stop the beat.
Right? Love that. Love that. So, the human who started this segment is back in the news. It's time for
Shyt and people taking pleasure in your pain.
George Santos is the gift that keeps on giving in terms of comedy and dear Christ.
Kind of like chlamydia.
Kind of. Yeah, chlamydia is not a flower, by the way. By the way.
In case you were wondering.
Right. That is not my line. That is not my line. That is David Breeden's line, who was a dear friend of many, many years. And he was talking about writing his memoir. And he was talking about dating these days in the queer community. And he's like, I don't know. You can't just go up to somebody and say, want to fuck me. You're supposed to, what, date? And he said, how does that work? Do you bring something? I mean, chlamydia is not a flower. And we decided that will be the name of his memoir. It was funny as hell when he said it, and it makes me chuckle every time I hear it. Or say it.
It's not a flower.
Chlamydia is not a flower. He has not had a good week. And he's even tried to fundraise. And that hasn't gone well either. Like I don't even know if we're talking about that, but let's just weed through all this bullshit and nonsense because it's funny. It's just funny. It's funny. And I'm still not convinced this man is even gay. I don't even know. I just don't even know. I mean, like, I'll give it to him because I've met some stupid gay people.
The Department of Justice has caught up with young Mr. Santos. On Wednesday, he was charged with 7 counts of wire fraud, 3 counts of money laundering, campaign funds, 1 count of theft of public funds, and 2 counts of making materially false statements to the House of Representatives.
Yeah.
With the exception of unlawfully applying for and receiving unemployment benefits, the allegations brought against Santos involve crimes only political figures can commit.
Yep.
Charles.
He should have resigned.
You know.
When he had the opportunity.
But no, hubris.
Hubris. Yeah. Hubris. If he's found guilty. What is it? Like 100 years in prison or something for all the shit that they're saying. It's like, oh God.
And then on top of that.
Breaching the public trust. That's what this is. Go ahead.
He also had charges against him in Brazil, charges of theft, of stealing checks.
Right.
And so he
has admitted to theft in the court in Brazil.
Right. He took a deal. So he admitted to the theft and signed a deal with Brazilian authorities so that they'll drop the criminal charges.
And he has to pay restitution and fines.
Right.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Well, he has a paycheck now for the moment.
Right, exactly. It's like, you better get all this shit out of the way now while you actually have a job.
Oh, God. Mary is only 34 years old. She has burned a fucking trail
Right.
in her short 34 years.
So, in conjunction with the charges brought by the Department of Justice and the kerfuffle with the theft charges in Brazil,
Right.
an audio clip has surfaced of him making fun of Jews,
Of course.
mocking and imitating Jewish people. Now, he's supposed to be Jewish too. That was one of his
Only
things.
sometimes, though.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he tried to say, I'm not Jewish. I didn't say I
I'm
was Jewish.
Jew-ish.
I'm Jewish. Right.
Yeah, me too.
Right. So, like,
I have probably fucked more Jews than he has. Just saying. I mean, if it matters, like I don't even know how this math works.
I was getting ready to say.
I don't know how Jewish works.
Right.
A lot of Jewish friends, been invited to Passover for years. You know, been to Rosh Hashanah. You know, my people. I'm pretty sure my Hungarians that came across the water, you know, in the early part of the 20th century, 1906 and 1909, I think.
Okay.
My grandparents' families. I think my grandmother's family left Hungary as Jews and decided to bless themselves across the water and showed up as Catholics.
Right.
Because if you met my grandmother, you'd understand why I say that. So, what do I know? But yeah, I thought he was Jewish, but apparently not.
Right. Well,
Or, yeah.
yeah.
This, you can't trust a word that comes out of this person's mouth.
Exactly.
Not one word. Not one word about who they are, who their family is, what they've done, what they haven't done. All of it's a lie.
I'm still waiting for that day when we find out he's really 7 raccoons stacked on top of each other wearing a trench coat. I'm still waiting.
Yeah, is that? I don't think that's the case. I just think we have a heavily damaged human who, you know, gained a platform, much like your friend Candace Owens. You know, like the Republicans latch on.
Why that bitch gotta be my friend?
Well, because the Republicans love to latch on to otherwise marginalized people and say, see,
Right.
they share our quote unquote values. And then this is what happens.
Right.
This is what happens. This and Milo. Like, this is what they get.
Yeah.
This bullshit. But keep
Yeah.
trying.
Yeah.
Keep trying.
So it looks like a whole bunch of Mr. Santos's chickens are coming home to roost.
They are. They really are. The eggs have hatched.
Right.
They've matured. They're coming home to roost.
They're dressing up in drag and having fun at a festival.
They are better than he did. Yeah. And it couldn't be happening to a more worthy human.
Right.
Really. I mean, you know, except for Trump. But some of his shit's coming home to roost too. So
Yep.
yay and yay.
Yeah.
And this has been your moment of
Shyt and people taking pleasure in your pain.
So,
Yo.
do you have a 15-minute fave you would like to share on our way out to break?
I do. And I am very proud of this week's 15-minute fave because it is by a friend of mine, Mike Taylor.
Oh, this is Tall Drink of Water.
Yeah.
Yummy Man, Mike Taylor,
Yeah,
right? That friend.
That would be Mike, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Mike Taylor, besides being a talented musician, as he always has been in the entire time I've known him, is
And a
also
sweet guy.
He's very
He's a
he's
sweet
a
guy.
very cool, like he's a genuinely cool and good person.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've never heard or seen anything negative coming from him, like ever.
Right. I want to climb him.
And you can,
And you
because
can,
he's
'cause he's
tall as
really
hell.
tall.
The first 3 times I met Mike was at a party, so he was sitting down.
Right. So you didn't realize.
I had no idea how tall he was.
And you're tall.
You're
very tall.
I'm 6'2", and he
Right.
is easily 4 inches taller than me.
I think so.
Easily.
Yeah. He's
Yeah. And so like one day we were at a function and he walked up to me and I was like, oh my God, have you always been this tall?
Right. It's like our friend Ezra, because I think he's 6'8".
Yeah.
And I love that because he actually has the body strength still to pick me up. Which I do too. I feel petite around them. Doesn't happen often. But I yes, in their presence. I'm so glad he's still making music.
Oh, yeah.
I love this.
Oh, he's doing the thing.
Good.
And so, and this song just dropped within the past week or so.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And I was listening to it while I was battling wisteria in our yard this week.
Yes.
It's called Spirit, and then in parentheses, Sped Up. And it's, his usual vibe. It's,
which I love.
Positive and good feelings and let's be good people and have a good time while we're doing it.
Alrighty.
Yeah. So we're going to go out to the break with Spirit, Sped Up by West Philly's own Mike Taylor.
Lately I've been feeling low now, trying to fill a hole in my soul now. Streets raised me so I don't really know how. No love in my heart is a ghost town, ghost town. Devil trying to show down, but I'm loaded in the chamber with some more rounds. Heavy is the head with the gold crown, and if you don't know now, you know now, know now. Bad energy, get away from me. Y'all best believe I'm just trying to free my spirit. In my soul I can feel it. I'm just trying to free my spirit. I sing it loud so you can hear me quite clearly. If you're feeling how I'm feeling, welcome to the new age. My story's a book but a new page. Y'all energy's off, gotta use sage.
And we're back.
We're back.
I love that song. That was actually a much longer break in real time than we planned for.
Yeah.
Yeah, our neighbors are out and about. So we got to visit with the neighbors.
Yeah.
And their little girl who was in a stroller last year while it was still warm and until Halloween. And she is now walking on her own.
Yeah, they came walking up the three of them came
She's
walking
now
up the street.
walking the streets.
And we were like,
Yeah. She is walking and hanging, and we got out the chalk and the wine. So we hung with the neighbors. That was fun.
The chalk was for the kids.
The chalk was for the kids. Yeah, we did not give the child wine.
No.
Just chalk.
Yes.
And yeah, we gave the adults wine.
Yes.
Yeah, that was fun.
Because they have a child who is now walking. So they needed the wine.
Yeah, right. Right. So yeah, don't be stingy with the wine. It's time for the cavalcade of nonsense.
If we must.
Well, we don't have to. I mean, but they do, so we should.
Right. So,
I mean, I'll go back outside.
So, in case you thought DeSantis couldn't get any crazier or cruel.
Oh, I never thought that. No, I never thought that.
He signed
he has Hitler-type aspirations.
Kind of.
Yeah, he does.
He signed what is described as an extreme license to discriminate healthcare bill.
Yeah, I mean, that's accurate.
Yeah.
It's accurate. It would allow healthcare providers and insurers to deny a patient care on the basis of religious, moral, or ethical beliefs. Then don't have a career in healthcare.
Right, exactly. Seems simple to me.
Yeah. It would bar medical boards from disciplining doctors for spreading information.
Yeah.
It gives a license to discriminate by allowing healthcare employees to discriminate in hiring. Yeah. So the HRC said, this is their legal director, Sarah Warbelow, religious beliefs are fundamental rights in our country. These core values have shaped our nation and strengthened our union. Unfortunately, Bills like SB 1580 distort our foundational freedoms into tools to limit the rights of others, including the LGBTQ plus community.
Yep.
And other vulnerable people. Personal beliefs should not be wielded as a sword to deny critical medical care. The Human Rights Campaign strongly condemns Governor DeSantis for signing this dangerous bill.
Yeah.
It's ugly. This is just ugly bullshit. It doesn't accomplish anything. It doesn't help anyone.
No.
And all it does is promote fascism. But okay. Thanks.
Right. Yeah, he is just trying to be as hateful as possible.
Yeah, so I can't even be assured I could get emergency medical care in Florida at this point. So to all my Florida peeps, I won't see you until,
you come up here where things make sense.
Yeah, and this governor's no longer in power and this nonsense gets reversed. And as we learned with Reagan, that can take years and years.
Right.
So I'm probably not going to be in Florida. I'm glad I saw it when I did.
Right, exactly.
Because Miami was really fun.
Yeah.
And then Sarasota was really fun. Like, we saw our friends and we had a good time. And yeah, I won't be back.
No,
I won't be back. I'm sorry.
Sorry about it.
I definitely no longer feel safe in Florida. And yeah, I like feeling safe. I do. So
it's a goal.
Keep going. Yeah, keep going. What's next?
So moving on to Colorado. A right-wing takeover of a school board has
well, that's what they're doing everywhere. They're even trying to do it here.
Right.
Yeah.
Has ruffled the Colorado community.
Good.
Yeah. Even some conservatives say the Woodland Park board has gone too far.
Actual Republicans are saying this shit. Speak louder and more often, please.
Right.
Because your party is abandoning you.
Yeah. Right-wing members of a school board in Colorado are transforming the district to the point they've alienated some fellow conservatives.
Good.
A slate of 4 ultra-conservative candidates won election to the 5-member Woodland Park School District Board in November 2021.
God help us all.
And 3 of them are still on the board, along with 2 allies who were appointed to fill the posts of members who resigned.
Okay.
Their tenure has included adopting a far-right social studies standard called American Birthright. Ooh, that doesn't sound dangerous.
Yes, it does.
Right. Hiring a new superintendent who has advocated for lessons that would, quote, promote positive aspects of the United States.
What do that mean? Slavery was voluntary? Like,
Gays,
what does
blacks,
that mean?
and Jews don't exist, I guess.
Right. And, yeah. Positive aspects of what?
Right.
We treated them like family. Like, where does that conversation go? They were just like family to us.
It's probably the same.
The fact that we owned them was just like an aside.
It's the same curriculum that
they raised our children.
It's the same curriculum that refers to the Middle Passage as immigrants coming to America.
I've heard that word. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
I just like, what does that even mean?
Right.
What does it mean?
So in addition to that, this tenure involves making major decisions without notifying the public that the actions were under consideration.
Wow.
Yeah. The board in the town of about 8,000 near Colorado Springs also ordered employees not to discuss the district on social media.
Oh, yeah, they hate that. Yeah, no.
And forced some staffers out of jobs. 4 of the district's highest ranking administrators have quit, and 40% of the professional staff at the high school will leave at the end of the school year.
Wow, 40%. 4 in 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, Woodland Park as a whole is greatly conservative, heavily favoring Orange Cheeto Man in the 2020 presidential election.
Well, good. I hope they have people to fill in and teach their children.
But even still.
Talk about fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
Well, may all the same people leave, and may you people have what you want, I guess. Because we are tired.
Yeah.
We're tired.
So when even conservatives are getting tired of conservatives' shit.
Well, they are, and they need to speak up more loudly and more clearly, because these are not the Republicans I knew or grew up with. I thought we were all human beings. I thought we were all, in favor of the freedoms America offers us. And this is a level of horseshit that is well beyond comprehension.
Yeah.
Move along, because I'm about to throw up.
Moving to Texas, which is something we will never do.
Yeah. No, we will never do that in reality.
Pivotal House vote moves Texas closer to banning puberty blockers and hormone treatments for trans kids.
Yeah, and Texas has been trying it and been trying it and been trying it, and they've been through the court and they've been through the court and they've been through the court and they keep losing, but keep trying.
Right. I mean, that's basically all that needs to be said here.
Yeah, they keep giving approval and then the court keeps shutting them down. But yeah, keep trying it, because this is all there is to do in Texas.
Right.
Everything is good. I think they're number one in education, right? Right. In the United States, I'm pretty sure of that. They must be. Highest income per capita, largest education per capita. Like everything is golden.
I don't think any of that's true.
And no one is dying in classrooms. So there are no mass shootings. There's nothing else to worry about in Texas.
Yeah.
But ground we have actually already covered.
Yeah, I don't think any of that is true.
So you've been beaten back in the courts and you keep trying it to fuss with trans people, because that is what you feel you entered government to do.
Right.
And that is what is needed in the state of Texas right now.
Right.
They don't need nothing else.
Right.
Molly Ivins is not only rolling over in her grave, she's laughing at all of us.
Yeah.
I told you. She's saying, I told you. I told you. I told you. I told you. And so is Ann Richards, both of them. Do you want to say more about that? Because I don't.
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay, good. What's next? Oh, Anderson Cooper.
Yeah. So for those of you that haven't heard, CNN held a town hall.
I only heard about this because universally on my Facebook feed, which one could argue is a bubble, everyone universally was condemning CNN the night this bullshit aired.
Right.
And I didn't even know what they were talking about.
Same.
They were just like, shame on CNN.
Yeah.
And apparently it was a Trump town hall.
Right.
Why?
Good question.
Why?
And so, yeah, good. Yeah, exactly. Why? And Anderson Cooper,
he supported this nonsense?
In the spirit of wanting to keep his job, basically said, you can be mad if you want to, and understandably so, but, ignoring it like he's not a thing isn't helpful.
He started moving. He started stepping quicker when Don Lemon got fired.
The timing does seem to.
I'm just saying,
support that.
Yeah, he is a little fresher and a little more awake these days.
Yeah.
So I guess it took him here, or something.
Where is it? Oh, he said, many of you think CNN shouldn't have given him any platform to speak.
Agreed.
And I understand the anger about that.
Do you?
Right.
Gloria Vanderbilt's son, do you?
Well, giving him the audience the time. I get that, but this is what I also get. The man you were so disturbed to see and hear from last night, that man is the front runner for the Republican nomination for president.
Right, and it should not have a platform. He should be in jail.
That part. He added, he hasn't changed and he is running hard. You have every right to be outraged today and angry and never watch this network again.
Good.
But do you think...
Because I won't.
But do you think staying in your silo and only listening to people you agree with is going to make that person go away?
I love that the people who talk about our silos also have uncountable wealth.
Well,
I love that the folks who like to talk about, many of them who like to talk about having a well-rounded perspective
won't be affected either way when the presidential election happens.
Yeah, have more money than they will ever use.
Right, so they have the
like
luxury.
Anderson Cooper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
He has the money, he has the means to weather any storm.
Isn't that great for him?
Right.
He lives in what was it, a restored firehouse in the West Village. He owns, real estate. And yeah, thank you for telling me what I should be feeling right now, Anderson. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. With all that Vanderbilt money behind you. Yeah, please do tell me what I can be afraid of.
Not only is he speaking from the porch of the big house, he left his own big house to go to this one to do so.
Yeah, so we pay attention. We turn our backs at our own peril. I mean, if we should pay attention to anything right now, it's that man is not in jail yet.
Right.
That's what we should be paying attention to.
It's like,
why isn't he? Why isn't he? Why has it taken this long? Why is he still walking among us?
Right.
And, why does he even have the ability to run for office again? He should not.
Right.
He should not. And he and his children should spend a great big long time in jail. There'd be a nice focus for the Republican Party, but they're busy worrying about trans folk.
Right.
I wonder why.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what they're trying to divert us from.
Look over there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Anderson, thanks for joining them.
Right. Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
All right. That's it. That's all I can take.
Well, we breezed through the cavalcade.
No, I'm done now.
I'm mad.
Fuck Anderson Cooper.
I'm not
Fuck
mad.
Anderson Cooper.
Yeah.
As many have, and many will. We'll be right back with the cleansing with pop culture.
Yeah.
Hello, dear listener. We're interrupting your regular podcast with an invitation.
Yep, you're invited to join us at the Tipsy Exchange, where your hosts get tipsy and exchange ideas on a specific topic.
Pop culture, true crime, unexplained phenomena. Nothing's off limits on the Tipsy Exchange.
So grab a drink and visit thetipsyexchange.com to find the show on Apple, Spotify, or whatever is your favorite podcast app. I'm Burley.
I'm LA. Now back to the show.
And we're back.
We're back.
Why does the first pop culture thing look like more nonsense? Why did Dolly Parton include Kid Rock on her new album?
That's a good ass question. So, Dolly,
you put it in pop culture, so explain it to me.
I did. Well, because, so Dolly Parton was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
As she should have been.
Right. And so she's like, well, if I'm going to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I feel like I should do something to warrant the title. So she's coming out with a rock album.
Right.
And for the most part, this album is going to be stellar.
You still haven't explained Kid Rock.
It's a question that I don't actually have an answer to. So she's collaborating with all these legendary musicians for this album. She's going to do a Beatles reunion because she's got Paul and Ringo.
Okay.
She's got Deborah Harry and Pat
Down with
Benatar
this.
and
Go
Lizzo.
good. Yes.
And you can think of a fierce rock person.
Cher?
Not Cher.
Why?
She was probably busy that day. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, that's the only reason I can think of.
Mick Jagger?
No, not Mick Jagger.
Huh.
Wait, hold on. I can actually tell you who all is on this bad boy. So, Richie Sambora, Sting. She's doing Open Arms with Steve Perry.
All right, Steve Perry. That was I was going to mention him.
Right.
I was going to mention Bruce Springsteen.
No, he's not on there.
Okay.
Steven Tyler, Warren Haynes, Stevie Nicks. She's doing a cover of Purple Rain.
At least 3 drag queens in the list. Keep going.
Right. Peter Frampton.
4.
Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. She's doing a duet with Chris Stapleton. That duet she did with Miley Cyrus. Tennessee Whiskey.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That duet she did.
Your version is better, by the way.
Well, thank you. That duet she did with Miley Cyrus, A Wrecking Ball, that's going to be on there.
Okay.
Pink, Brandy Carlisle.
I love Pink. Love these. Yeah. Thank you for more women in rock. Did you say Pat Benatar already?
She's going to do a version of Heartbreaker with Pat Benatar.
Nice. Okay. Good.
Simon LeBon, Linda
But
Perry.
not Cher.
Not Cher. She's doing Michael McDonald.
I'm fine, but never a fan.
She's doing Stairway to Heaven featuring Lizzo. I mean, come on.
That's interesting.
But
where the fuck does Kid Rock come into this? I'm loving this. It sounds like a multi-track album.
yeah, track 7 is going to be Either Or featuring Kid Rock.
Why?
No one knows. No one knows. It's a good ass question. It's like, I mean, he's a rocker, I guess.
Is he?
Yeah, I mean, you know,
I know one song.
He started off being another like white dude trying to do rap rock.
Yeah, because I confuse him with Eminem all the time.
Oh, please don't do that.
What? Why?
We're not embarrassed by Eminem.
Oh, we're not? I feel like I am.
I mean, there are things that, no, actually, you can be embarrassed by Eminem if
Thank
you
you.
want to. That's
Okay,
fine.
well, good.
But he at least has...
Kid Rock has that song that the duet was a very popular karaoke duet.
Oh, the one where it sounds like it's going to be Werewolves of London, but it never is, and I'm always disappointed. That one?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Something about pictures, your picture, I don't know.
Child, I don't even know. All I know is Kid Rock is
I think that was
a
him.
rich white dude posing as white trash, and folks have been lapping it up for
I know he's been on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. They seem to be friends. I hoped he wasn't friends with Dolly, but okay.
But you know, obviously he's also racist, homophobic, transphobe.
Yeah, that's fun.
So that Dolly hasn't released a statement.
Okay.
So I don't know why he's on this album, and he's the only like questionable choice on the entire thing.
I mean, that may be one she'll have to explain.
I mean, you know, there's a theory that, you know, it's part of her brand of like, you know,
uniting folks or
something like that.
Okay.
It's the only thing I can think of, and that would be on brand for her. I have a feeling this will be the most skipped song on a Dolly Parton album ever.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah.
Huh. Okay. Well, I guess we'll find out. I mean, I love Dolly Parton.
Yeah, it's like,
and I love all the things she does, and I'm
assuming there's a good reason.
Not that anyone anywhere cares, but I will probably give her this one, whatever it is,
right?
Because you know she's Dolly,
exactly.
Ain't nobody else done what she has done.
This is true.
I don't know. Maybe he saves puppies or something. I don't know.
Child, I have no idea.
So Beyonce kicked off her Renaissance World Tour.
Yeah, so the Renaissance Tour
it's very queer.
Finally started, and
something about gender neutral bathrooms, and everybody's going insane.
Oh yeah, you said that she's making sure that all the bathrooms are gender neutral.
Yeah.
Well, all I know is, which is also this is on brand for Beyonce. She's bringing along all of the top tier Voguers.
I love that.
To perform.
I love that.
Kevin Prodigy, who's actually from North Philly, who is one of the premier Vogue commentators. He's on tour with her. So all these people that grew up like falling all over themselves for Beyonce not only get to go on tour with her, but get that Beyonce tour money. So that's cool.
Right. And she credits them. When she samples them, she credits them.
Yeah, so they get songwriter credit.
And they make money.
Yeah.
So like no notes on that.
Yeah.
Because this is exactly what we bitch about all the time.
Right.
And she listens and she incorporates that knowledge. So no notes.
No, my only thing
you got
is
notes?
Not on the tour itself. Okay. My whole thing is...
Because I hope there are gender neutral signs on every bathroom in every stadium.
Right.
I hope there are.
Never let it be said that Beyonce...
Because I want to see hoteps crossing their legs and pissing in a cup in the corner. I want to see it.
That part. And see, this is where I'm going.
Go ahead.
Because I know for a fact that a significant portion of people who claim to be fans of Beyonce also have made certain comments about queers and trans folks.
Uh-huh.
So I believe I said on Facebook, if you
I never stopped supporting them, by the way. But go ahead.
if you willingly spent a month and a half's worth of rent on these tickets and you still
many have. Yeah. They're crazy.
and you still come out your mouth with transphobia and or talking about that gay shit, which I know some of y'all do.
And that is what they call it. That gay shit.
That gay shit.
Yes, that would be us. Welcome to Full Circle, the podcast.
Exactly. So
Yeah, that otherwise known as that gay shit.
right. So if that's you, you are not now, have never been, nor will ever be fabulous. I don't care what you say.
Well, right.
That's all.
And I hope they pee in cups
Yeah.
in the corner
Right.
and boycott the bathrooms.
Right. That's
Where
all I have to
no one cares.
Right. That's all I have for
Literally
that.
no one cares.
Janelle Monae released the video for her new single Lipstick Lover.
Okay.
And so if you thought,
They released, right?
yes,
They released.
Did I say she? I'm sorry. Yes,
no, I
they.
didn't say you said anything. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, they
I'm
released.
just teeing it up.
Yes.
They released.
They released the new video, and it's
Go
If
ahead.
you had any questions about Janelle Monae's queerness,
I do not.
they have been put to rest with this video.
Well, good, but I had no questions before. I was pretty sure I knew what I was looking at when I was looking at it.
Yeah, because the whole video
They
is
fierce.
fierce. Yeah,
Fierce.
is Janelle kissing and licking and touching things.
Do you know what bothered me was because we were listening to a more famous, probably better financed queer podcast where Janelle Monae was the guest.
Yes.
And Janelle was trying to engage the host, and the host was like, this is about you, not me. And
Oh, right.
I'd have talked to him. I would so have talked to them. Because that's genuine and real. Like,
I have so many questions.
this is an amazing person, but also trying to establish a connection.
Right.
And talking as humans. I would love to interview Janelle Monae.
I would too, Janelle, if you're listening.
And I would answer Janelle's questions, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You want to talk about me? We can talk about me.
Yeah.
That's fine too.
But
I mean, I mostly want to talk about you, but
yeah, like whereas the last album was very much like, I am here, I am queer.
Yeah.
If you don't like
Yes.
it, well then
no,
that's a you problem.
that energy. I love that energy, and you know what I mean when I say that energy.
Yes.
Oh, yes, I do.
This is
Yes, I do.
so far from what I can tell, this album is very much like, not only am I queer, I took my face out of my girl's crotch just long enough to record this album, and as soon as I'm done, I'm going back.
Right.
It's giving that energy.
And I might fuck a dude on my way back.
I might.
He will receive. And yeah, but that energy that says there's nowhere I haven't been.
Right.
There's like, I see all y'all.
And
I like that energy.
And
I always have.
I have too. And they say, this music is for the fam, FAM, which is an acronym for free ass motherfuckers.
Yeah, well, good.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
I'm such a fan of Janelle.
I'm going to
Monae.
add Janelle Monae to my list, my wish list.
Okay.
Susan Stryker, by the way, was on my wish list.
Right.
As was Julia Serrano.
Yeah.
I've been clicking, as was Bruce Valanche, actually. I've been clicking off folks.
Yeah. So hey,
but Janelle Monae is absolutely on my list
I would love that.
because I just love their spirit. I love their integrity in being, and I love their work as an actor. I really do.
As an actor, as a musician,
yeah,
like,
all of it.
everything is fabulous and done well.
That is a human I would love to sit down and talk with.
It's like just fierceness.
Because
Fierceness incarnate.
I love fierceness that just is.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I respect it. So good.
Now, having talked about fierceness.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the shows you watch after I go to bed so I can get up for work.
Exactly. So Drag Race All Stars Season 8 just came out this weekend, or as I like to say, Drag Race Some Stars, because this season,
No, it's you saying it.
because
I already been there.
this
so
is
go
the
ahead.
most underwhelming lineup.
Uh-huh.
Like, there's Mrs. Kasha Davis, who I am actually excited to see come back. Heidi N. Closet, who I love, and La Ree, who I am very entertained by and would love to see do well. That's 3. There's like 8 other bitches who I didn't care one little bit about them on their respective seasons, and well, here they are all together. Yeah, I watched the first episode. They dropped 2 episodes, and I watched the first one, and I was sitting there like, I kind of hate this. I really, really don't care. And I watched the second episode, and it was better.
Okay.
But something real good is going to have to happen before, otherwise I might not finish.
If you're wasting your time and your life energy on this, I have no sympathy.
I understand that.
Yeah, I have none.
And that's
I'm just glad you are doing that after I go to sleep.
That's part of my thing. It's like, well, at least before it was a guilty pleasure that I was enjoying, but if I'm not even enjoying it, then why am I doing this to myself?
Right, exactly, which is the core of all addiction. So, examine your life.
They get one more episode out of me before I make my final decision.
May you find recovery. Because
what's been taking the taste out of my mouth is I've been rewatching Lovecraft Country, because I just felt like seeing like some like smart Black television. And
I'm all for that.
Yeah, and it's a shame like Lovecraft Country is something you will never watch.
Probably, yeah, you're right.
It's from a couple of years ago. I showed you the one episode, the one where Ruby got the potion so she could turn into a white woman.
Yes, I watched one episode with you and I said, why did I watch that?
That was the only episode that I felt you would find remotely interesting. So
why?
Just because of the subject.
I don't even want to be a white woman.
But it was the concept.
Like, what was I going to be fascinated with? I don't want to be that.
It was the concept of, not just
about.
I
mean, some argue I'm not. So.
It's not just about her being white. It was about like
no, I know
the experience of navigating.
It wasn't that it wasn't well written. It was just like, eh.
It is not only is it a well written series, there is a whole companion syllabus to this show. That's how good it is, and I just wanted to go back to it.
And I'm coming from a place of not remembering and probably enough of it to comment, but if anything, there's the essence of the shit we talk about, is that idea, well crafted or not, but that idea and proposed and performed in Lovecraft Country, that whiteness is somehow superior or better, or there's a reason to even do that.
But no, that's not it.
What is it?
That's the thing. The through line with Lovecraft Country, because Lovecraft Country is essentially a horror series.
Right. And that sounds like horror.
But no matter what the supernatural element or the monsters or whatever, the true monster was always white people. It took place.
That's fair.
That's
fair.
In Jim Crow era,
right?
Chicago.
Yeah.
And white folks were always like at the heart of whatever the true evil was, but it was the Black folks that were like smart and just doing things you don't typically see Black people do in a series like this.
Right. And it doesn't mean they don't do them every day. It just means they're not usually chronicled doing them.
That part.
Yeah.
You don't, it's something that you've never seen before.
Right.
The series is something you've never actually seen on television before.
Right.
And, I just wanted to see that again because it's so smart. And because the imagery is stuff you haven't seen before, like the episode that always gets to me is called Jigabobo. And it takes place on the day of Emmett Till's funeral.
Oh, shit.
And there's that. And then there is the 2 demon pickaninny twins that follow one of the characters around. That episode gets to me.
Yeah.
It's the whole show is just really good. And I just wanted to like revisit this quality black television. Journey Smollett, Jussie's younger sister, is one of the leads.
Oh, Jussie.
I know. But she is a phenomenal actor.
I'm glad we're not holding him against her. Yeah.
No, she's a phenomenal actor. And that was the first thing I'd seen her in since Eve's Bayou, when
oh God,
she was she was
a
Eve.
kid.
Yeah. And she was a great actor then. Like she hit a home run the show that introduced me to Jonathan Majors, which sadly now he's embroiled in his controversy because apparently he's an abusive person to women. So, that ain't cool. But yeah.
No.
But the series itself is great. And if you haven't seen it, I suggest you watch it because it's quality television. And look up the companion syllabus because there's music and poetry and books and academic literature that explores all the references that are talked about in the show. It's that shit.
Okay.
That's all.
Well, we need that shit.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm glad it exists.
Yeah. Me too.
I'm sorry it's in a genre that I probably can't enjoy.
Yeah. Like you would find the concepts interesting.
I do.
But you wouldn't find the way it's done so much interesting.
Well, right. And that's my own trauma. That
Right.
has nothing to do with anything other than PTSD.
Right.
Because I lived kind of a horror show a lot. And so it's not always entertaining for me.
Right. And I get that. Horror is one of those things I don't try to push it on you because I understand like horror is not for everyone anyway. And then you have your own personal reasons. I understand. Sometimes I accidentally get you to watch horror because I don't realize that's what it's going to be.
Right. And that has never gone well.
No. And
because I have visceral responses. I mean, that's what PTSD literally is. No, I have visceral responses to trauma, to my own trauma, and to certain genres, and there is no predicting it. Because I love film and I love storytelling, but yeah.
Like I learned my lesson the first time with I made you watch. I didn't make you watch, but I asked you to watch 10 Cloverfield Lane with me.
No, you kind of. Well, yeah. Right.
And like
I won't say made me, but you were like it's so good.
Well, like the
And
first
it's so good.
The
and
first
you will
3
love
quarters,
it. You will like it.
The first 3/4 of the movie is like this really interesting character study.
It was. I agree with you. And then
the last 25% is where the supernatural horror part comes in. I was like, well, the interesting character study will totally outweigh this. No, it did not. It did not. So.
Well, it doesn't, because my life was an interesting character study until it wasn't.
Right. Fair enough.
Until I actually had a brother who, used to set traps for me outside of my bedroom door.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah, so that I would trip and fall and hopefully bloody myself on the way to the bathroom. Like that shit actually happened in my life. So,
fair enough.
Yeah, I am not an adrenaline junkie because I had enough adrenaline when I had no agency.
Right.
In my life. And, yeah.
That's real shit.
I do not seek adrenaline. I seek peace. So.
That's fair.
Yeah, but
that's all I have for pop culture.
Okay. So have we popped the culture?
We've popped the culture.
Because the cavalcade shit really annoyed me.
Yeah, I'm glad we breezed through it. That was the shortest cavalcade
ever.
Well,
yeah, and Anderson Cooper can go fuck himself.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just like,
he can afford to have
so
someone
tired
do that
of people telling me what I need to hear over and over again. It's like, okay, well, maybe that shit doesn't traumatize you. It does traumatize me. It literally does.
Yeah.
I was trying to sound the alarm as an adult in 2016. I lost friends. I lost business.
Yeah.
And we're still putting this person we're still giving them a platform.
Yeah.
If they don't have a platform, like trying to tell me that people want to hear what they have to say is irrelevant. Right. You are providing the platform.
Correct.
Stop it because it's wrong. How about that? Just don't do it because it's the wrong thing to do. Don't do it until this person is either cleared or in jail, but don't do it.
Right. Just
and
don't
try
look.
bending
Just don't
over
look.
sideways twice and backward and around a corner to justify it.
Right.
When you got Gloria Vanderbilt's money.
Yeah.
And the ego that comes with it.
Yeah.
Go to hell.
Yeah.
Go to hell. Anyway,
we're going to be
Well,
working together next week.
We're what?
We're going to be working together.
We
next
are
week.
working together because, yes, I work front of house when I'm requested.
Yes, and
when I'm selected and paid for, I work front of house, and you work back of house.
Yes.
And we will be doing that this weekend for Kulamele.
No, for Way Ma.
Oh, and Way Ma.
Yes,
both or one.
Just this coming weekend is her
is all
her
Way
residency performance.
Okay, all right, I'll do that.
Yeah, and I got to interview her for Dance Talk Radio last week.
Yes,
and that was lovely. And then her show is this week, and
I will be working.
Yes, it's a big deal. So you're going to be front of house.
Yeah, right. So that's when I do front of house, and you do back of house, and we show them what we do.
Exactly. Teamwork and whatnot.
It's their podcast business.
Yes, there is. Let's get into that. If you haven't already, go to Apple Podcasts or Good Pods or wherever you enjoy our show and drop us a rating, a review, or hit that subscribe button. 5 stars or more, please. If you have a story idea or some gossip or just want to say hi, drop us a line at askfullcirclepod@gmail.com. Follow us on social at Full Circle Pod on Twitter, at Full Circle The Pod on Instagram, at Full Circle The Podcast on TikTok. Martha is at iMarthaMadrigal everywhere. Her writing is IamMarthaMadrigal.wordpress.com. I am at Never Scared everywhere. Or you can just visit our Linktree, linktree.com/FullCircleThePod for all that and more. You could also consider becoming a patron of Full Circle the Podcast by visiting our Patreon, patreon.com/FullCircleThePod. Starting at the $3 a month tier, you can have all of our episodes ad-free and before everyone else. And then starting at the $6 a month tier, you can have access to our behind-the-scenes and bonus material. And it only gets better from there. It's fun over at the Patreon. And you can also check us out on our Discord, Full Circle the Podcast. Podcast business over.
So this took about 7 hours.
I know, right?
Or some, I don't know. It's 9:00 and we have Chinese food waiting.
Yes, Lord. Tofu and vegetables. Woo!
Tofu and vegetables. Yes. And I gotta go to bed soon. Because I work.
You gotta work and stuff.
Very early in the morning. And I have to go get a tooth fixed.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. So anything else?
No.
We have popped the culture.
We've popped the culture.
We have
cavalcated the nonsense.
And spread all the good news we could find.
Right.
All right, then. Until next week, I am Martha Madrigal.
And I am Charles Tyson Jr.
And you've been listening to Full Circle, the podcast. We appreciate you. We love you. And we'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone. Full Circle is a Never Scared Productions podcast, hosted by Charles Tyson Jr. and Martha Madrigal, produced and edited by Never Scared, executive produced by Charles Tyson Jr. and Martha Madrigal. Our theme and music is by the Jingleberries. All names, pictures, music, audio, and video clips are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of their respective copyright holders.